Sounds. Roll call, please. Green. Here. Getz. Here. Craddock. Here. Leathers.
Here.
Sorensen. Allwilling.
Here.
Young. Here. Do pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before us, we have an agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Don, second. Second by Cece. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the fun part of the evening, we'll start out with highlights. I'd like to invite Katie Carter. And Katie is our new activities director. Welcome. And she's here to present some pretty exciting announcements. So if you'd like to introduce your coaches when they come up, that'd be wonderful.
Good evening, Board Chair Green, Dr. Page, and school board members. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce 3 coaches from our Austin Packers fall sports programs who had a team and or individuals qualify for the Minnesota State High School League state tournaments. Head boys coach Jens Levison, head boys and girls cross-country coach Tony Enertson, and co-head girls swim and dive coach Ryan Kelly. At this time, I will invite soccer coach Jens Levison up to introduce his guest and talk a little bit about the highlights from the season.
Come on up.
So I'm Coach Jens Levison. The players I have with me are Leo Hernandez, Joel Thong, Colin Berg, Turay, and Nick Osmus. Each season has a theme. Our overall theme starting this season was that mistakes come from doing, but so does success. And that was very true for our team this season. At one point in the season, we were 3-9-1. And one of my goalkeepers came to me and said, "Coach, we're the best 3-9-1 team in the nation." We had many games that were very tight that didn't quite go our way. And after some of those tight games, conversations were short. I just said, "Hey guys, are we getting better?" And the short answer was, "Yes, all right, we'll see you tomorrow." Nick wanted to share a few words with you as well.
Yeah, our season was kind of up and down, but we managed to pull through. Made it state. I don't really have anything else to say.
At this time, I'll have Coach Tony Enertson come up and talk about the boys and girls cross-country teams and his guest.
Coach Enertson, we had 3 individuals qualify for the state tournament this year. Thomas Herrick qualified for the boys, ended up finishing 75th? So ended up finishing 75th for us at the meet. And then we had 2 girls that are on the basketball program right now, so they're out of basketball practice with first day practice going on. Marissa Shute, who finished 51st, and Lewis. Actually, wanted to say Abby, Sydney Lewis, sorry. Sydney Lewis, an 8th grader for us, she finished around 107th. All 3 performed very well and represented the school very well this season. So thank you.
And fresh off of the section meet last week, I invite co-head coach Ryan Kelly up. We don't have any visitors because they are busy at the pool getting ready for state, which is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week at the U of M Aquatic Center. Ryan Kelly.
All right, thank you for the time here. Yes, as Katie said, we're still in season. The girls are 5:35, they're probably just getting out of the pool right now. So, we've got 6 girls that qualified for state. We've got 2 divers, Reese Norton and Elena Kennedy. We've got 4 swimmers, Olivia Walsh, Olivia Henry, Gracie Greenman, and Abby Boyson. So we've got 6 people going in 5 different events. It is I believe the biggest group that the girls team has sent to state since at least 2014. So it was a great season for us in a lot of different ways. So just kind of give you a little bit of sense here, we've got a very young team. We only had 9 total juniors and seniors out of this squad of 50 or so girls from grade 7 through 12. So it gives you a little sense of what our team looks like right now. We had a Big 9 champ, a section champ, a new team record. We had at least 10 top 10 scores for our team, all-time top 10s. We had 4 all Big 9 athletes. We had 2 honorable mentions. We had a team academic gold award from the Coaches Association, which means we had our 10th through 12th graders on our team had a team GPA of 3.75 or above. So we did a lot of really nice things. And I could go on with some other things that we've done, but this group was fantastic for us. We had one of our seniors right here is one of your board members, Ms. Diaz here, and she was a great leader for us through her years on the team. So we're going to be sorry to see her go, but we've got a nice group of kids coming back, and we'll be excited to see the group of 6 kids going up at the end of the week here up to Minneapolis and see what they can do against what the rest of the state's got. So thank you for the time, and cheer our girls on here. Thank you.
And Katie, I'd just like to say, we've heard a lot of really good positives about your communications to the district and the community. So thank you, and welcome on board.
Thank you. Just a minute.
I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege. I have a few things to say, so if you have a minute. This is a minute? Just a minute. This has been a really great week for Austin Public Schools, and we're going to hear more about it throughout the meeting. Great election, great results with the referendum, and the good news continues. I think I need some help. Don, could you come up here for a minute?
My personal privilege?
Not yet,
Not yet, okay.
but I need help, so if you can stand over here, this would be great. I'm happy to share with you all some really great news that Don Leathers has been selected as the Minnesota School Boards Association 2022 All-State School Board member. And his award will be presented to him in January at the state Minnesota School Boards Association Leadership Conference. This is indeed an honor. He knows how much of an honor it is. There's up to seven people selected each year out of thousands, 3,000, 3,200 school board members statewide. And his resume, his application looked absolutely spectacular, well-deserved. And we have your family here, and we have flowers.
Oh.
So you have something to.
Those are cold. The water is anyway.
And so now I'm going to give Don a personal privilege, so he can say a few words.
Will you hold these marshmallows? Well, thank you, Kathy, and thank you for the board for nominating me. And I'm in good good company, because Kathy is not a former, but she's also an all-state school board member. And I just want to say that it's a real privilege to represent the shareholders of Boston Public Schools, and we have a great board and an outstanding superintendent, and I couldn't do it without my wife, Marcia, or not my wife, Marcia. You have to get back to work now?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. What's that, more comments now, huh?
That's been really exciting. I've known for about a week, and a few other people have known, and so we had to speak for it, so that was the fun one. Okay, at this time, we entertain any delegations that would like to speak for the board. I don't have anyone listed. Seeing none, we'll move on with our superintendent's report. Dr. Page?
Thank you, Chair Green, members of the board. A few things to highlight here. First of all, just our elections. The Austin voters, as you know, approved their operating levy last Tuesday night. I want to thank all those who voted and participated in sharing information to get this referendum passed. We are excited to begin the next chapter here. I also want to thank all 5 of our candidates running for school board with their candidacy. Congratulations to Kathy Green and Peggy Young and Carolyn Dubé, and I think she's around here, Carol. Is she here? Oh, I'm sorry, I've got the pillar, there you are. Congratulations. And I also want to thank candidate Denver Ritz for running for school board as well. Our Veterans Day programs took place across the district last week, and I want to thank all of the schools for participating in that important day in recognizing and honoring our veterans near and far, and also their family members. It's National Community Education Day. That was last week. And this is, as you know, community education is home to programs that are unique within the Austin Public Schools. They serve students from birth through adulthood with the following programs. Austin Adult Learning offers a variety of classes to support adults in our community for English language classes, GED and prep courses, and digital literacy. Community education offers enrichment and recreation opportunities for youth and adults, including More Than Pink and travel. Early childhood education offers programming for children from birth through kindergarten, including early childhood, family education, home visits, preschool, and finally, community education is home for school-age childcare and our Kids Corner program. It offers wraparound childcare services for interested families who attend our schools and from preschool. And I want to thank our community education director, Jen Malhead, for all that she does for community education. Thank you, Jen. Some other recognitions I just want to offer. Is our Austin FFA chapter. Congratulations to our livestock evaluation team on earning the silver rank. That took place in Indianapolis. Also, our Austin Public Schools' very own Morgan Dickman, a teacher at Southgate Elementary, performed the famous Princess selections at the Austin Symphony Orchestra here, which kicked off its 66th season with Puppets and Princesses. In October 13th, at the Hubble House in Manorville, state championship coaches and distinguished service awards from Region 1A were recognized. And our awesome Packer dance team coach, Kayla Sellers, was honored at the luncheon, and also former Austin High School activities director, Lisa Quidnow, was recognized by Region 1A as a retiring AD. And Kayla and Lisa were presented their awards by our activities director, Katie Carter, so thank you. That's my report.
Any questions? Very good. Now we have our school board reports. Are there people that have items they'd like to share?
Somebody else, I would. I'd like to join and congratulate Peggy, Kathy, Carolyn, and Carol Taylor for the election and their being elected to serve 4-year terms on the board. And if I'm not here next month, I'd like to also thank Angie and Katie for the service that you provided us, and it's been good working with you, and thank you very much. I'd also like, the reason I say this because I subbed over there last week. I didn't get to the assembly on Friday, but I subbed for Derek Peak the last week, 2 days, and I tell you, that man has his ducks in a row. He has his classes, it's not, hey, everybody pay attention, I'm not disparaging anybody, but he has it just down to a T, and, he garnered a state award recently, and, much deserved from a substitute's perspective. And you might recall that last fall you voted as a board to allow Cece and myself to substitute teach. And I always thought that I just substitute teach on the senior high level, but I do kind of get a kick out of those little kids in third grade. So I've been to every school, and it's really been a good experience. The teachers and staff are dedicated. But a couple weeks ago, I spent a whole week over at the co-op. And I must say, that staff over there is just a unique group of individuals. They're dedicated, the challenges are great, but they rise to the occasion on a daily basis. And it's not to downplay any other school or anything like that, but it's just a heartfelt feeling, the dedication that those people have. So I would just invite, if you have some time, to maybe go over there some morning or maybe 3 o'clock after the bus goes and takes the kids, and just go over there and just see what's going on over at the co-op and talk to some of the teachers and staff. And Amy is doing an outstanding job as the principal, and it's a great place. We're lucky to have it, and the students are lucky to have a place to be. And then I'd also like to just like to say that on December 2nd, 3rd, I'm going to participate in the Minnesota School Board Association Delegate Assembly, where resolutions are brought forward and we vote on them. And I'll come back next month, so I will be here, I guess, and let you know what happened, if there's anything that's very important that was passed. So it's usually a spirited time, and we get a lot of things accomplished, and thank you.
Thank you. Katie?
I have 3 items that I'd like to just mention tonight, and one of those was, as Dr. Page said, with the passing of the referendum. I just want to thank everyone for all the wonderful work that they did to make that happen finally. So I really appreciate everyone's efforts. Also, I had an opportunity to attend a little celebration for Austin's Teacher of the Year, Heather Ruzek, this week, and also Derek Pika, who won by a teacher for Minnesota. So those celebrations were very exciting. You probably read in the consent agenda from the site reports at the Austin High School, Lisa Sanders' human geography class had the Pi Academy kids over from Southgate 2 consecutive Wednesdays, and I attended both of those sessions that they had. And I have to tell you, that first Wednesday was amazing. They had a map of Asia on the stage in Milton Auditorium. It covered the entire stage. All of the high school kids and the Pi Academy kids were in their stocking feet, along with Miss Sanders, and they were walking all over this map and finding all these different locations. Then they went ahead and they built population pyramids using plastic cups, depending on how much population was in each of these different places. And I actually learned something, like happens every day, but I just wanted to share with you that Lisa was talking about the 5 twos. The 5 twos are why people do not populate certain areas in our world. And so I thought I'd just share this mnemonic with you. So it's 5 twos. Either too hot or too cold, too wet or too dry, or too high in altitude. So that's the 5 twos I thought I would just share in case you didn't know that before. A little mnemonic for you. And finally, on Friday evening, I had an opportunity to attend the play at Ellis, the 8th grade play. Murder in the House of Horrors, and it was an audience participation play, which was really, really kind of fun because you got to guess who you thought the murderer was, and you got to even ask them questions. It never ceases to amaze me how much work goes into putting on a production like that, and so I just wanted to give a shout out to Miss Reagan, who was the play director, and also to Miss Zerke, who was in charge of the set development, also to all the performers for their hours of practice and for ultimately entertaining their audience. Thank you.
Did you participate at all?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I think that goes without saying, Mr. Letters.
I attended some of the events, and the passion of the coaches and the motivation of the athletes and activity participants, it's just, that's what makes our job fun, is to see them really engaged, and thanks for our students for being here. So, okay, with that, we ask for our student on the school board reports, so you can go up to the podium and
Hi, Superintendent Page, Chairperson Green, and members of the board. My name is Nara Zaki, and I'm one of your student representatives for this year. I will be presenting the student report. Starting off, the 8th through 12th grade band concert will be tomorrow night. And we've had a performance by the Austin Symphony Orchestra at the high school, which was attended by over 2,000 elementary students across southeastern Minnesota. And the Veterans Day activities happened in history classes. One of these activities was writing letters to veterans. There was a youth leadership blood drive, which was successful. The career fair down in AHS Commons was successful and included representatives from different colleges and employers across Minnesota. And lastly was the student council trip to SED, which was the Southeastern Division of Student Councils. So, and now we'll welcome Catherine to come up and share her part of the report. I haven't gone to college since last summer, I'm sorry. Superintendent Page, Chairperson Green, and members of the board, my name is Catherine Diaz, and I'm one of your student body representatives at Austin High School. And today I'm here to share with you some of the current things that are happening inside the high school. During the month of November, Austin High School has been packed with many opportunities for students to share and express their fall cheer and make sure they cheer on our fall sports. And here are some ways we've been doing that. I was going to start off by talking about sports, but our wonderful coaches already did that, so I'm just going to skip over that. So, I'll start with school activities. So for school activities, leading into October, we had many different presentations about graduation for our seniors. We had the Jocelyn's graduation presentation in late October, where seniors got to order their cap and gowns in different packages. We also had seniors sign their class shirt in the Commons and purchase them as well. And then as a fellow senior myself, was kind of bittersweet. I can't believe I'm a senior already and I'm getting old. Throughout the month of October and November, students at AHS have been receiving many different emails about scholarship information and further information on where to find different scholarships for college. Another thing happening at the high school has been, we had a mock election on election day, which was quite useful. Because as a student myself, I never knew what the voting process was like until I attended a mock election, so I thought it was very useful to learn. And then at this point in the school year, many students are making sure they keep busy with not only school activities, but with different extracurricular activities, sports, and part-time jobs. Sadly, that is all I have for you guys today. Are there any questions for me about anything you've been doing at the high school?
Angie?
Question. I remember, sorry, I should have asked.
Oh, no, you're doing
Last year, I remember you talking about wanting to do a snowball dance, and I was just curious if that ever came to, if there's any plans for that this winter.
For the snowball dance, the only difficulty we're having with that plan is who would help host it. We were thinking of having student council host it, but they already set up homecoming, so we don't want them to do both since it's really stressful. But right now we're looking towards Stan, Student Seeking New Direction, to see if they would want to help with the snowball dance. So it's still a work in progress, I'd say.
Cool. Okay.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next month.
Thank you. Next before us, we have our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve or a cause to edit?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Katie, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Request approval of support for the Minnesota State High School League grant application. This is an action item. Andrew, would you like to present? It can be a group effort.
Chairperson Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board. Before you tonight, we have a resolution of the governing board supporting our Form A application to the MSHSL. And tonight, this is to support our asking them essentially for additional funding to cover those who qualify for free and reduced. And this money can help support some of those student athletes coming to participate in our athletics here in Austin.
And this is an annual ask.
Correct.
So, do we have a motion to approve the grant application?
I'll make that motion.
Don, is there a second?
Second.
Katie, second? Katie, CC. The other Katie.
No problem.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we have request approval of AHS extended field trips for 22-23. Director Katie Carter will address. This is an action item.
Good evening, Board Chair Green, Superintendent Page, and school board members. I'm here tonight to request approval for Austin High School extended field trips, as well as dates of possible state tournament appearances for the remainder of the 22-23 school year. Based on what you see in front of you, do you have any questions for me?
Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Peggy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Katie's gonna second. Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Okay. Now we get, it'll be fun, an overview of the CEO program, and facilitator Emily Hudland and CEO Julie Nesvold is here to present.
Chairperson Green, Superintendent Page, and members of the board, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting us here today. I am Emily Hudland, and I'm the facilitator for the Now Green CEO program.
And I'm Julie Nesvold. I'm a junior here at Austin High School, and I'm a student in the CEO program.
So first of all, you have a sheet that was handed out, and that should be in front of you hopefully at this time. On the front of that is just an overview, but if you flip to the back, there are a couple pie charts on there. And this was from our class last year. So they do a survey each fall of our students and then in the spring. And this just shows a little bit about when they start our program, some of the things that they're thinking about and considering as far as where they see themselves in the future, and then again at the end of the program. So one thing that the CEO program really tries to focus on is growing the talent that we have within our schools and bringing that talent back to Austin. You notice on the fall side of it, 50% of the students in the fall said at that time they did not see themselves returning to Austin. So 50% in that cohort, but by the spring, that went down to 20%, which after seeing what they see in the community, there's some great opportunities that they find, and it's exciting to see the change in that. So you can see all the areas of growth there. There's a lot of information on the sheet, I realize, but we just love the CEO program, so it's hard to cut things out about it. A couple of things that I'll call your attention to down below. One that stands out from the comments from the students is CEO opened a door and so many opportunities. It allowed me to challenge myself and accomplish things I never thought I could. I also made great connections with my classmate, facilitator, mentors, and community. And then the other one that I wanted to kind of call out specifically is, this is an amazing opportunity to learn about yourself and your community. You go on so many business visits, and it really helps you to find a career that you're interested in. You build great connections with people in your community. For me, the only thing I didn't like about CEO is that it's only 1 year. It was my favorite class that I ever had, and it didn't even feel like a class. So, kind of with some of that said, we do see in our program, a lot of our students, it becomes like this family as they travel through the year and the things that they do and they grow. So, I'm gonna hopefully get this to work here. This is our current class up on the screen right now. We have 22 students, and the program is open to students at Austin High School and Pacelli Catholic Schools. So we have 4 students here with us from Pacelli, and then the rest are Austin High School juniors and seniors. This shows you who our board members are. You can see that we have school representatives on the board from both of our buildings. That way we are making sure that we're following the different things that we need to as far as schools go. But then we also have representatives from various different business areas within the community. They help to really make a lot of the decisions and drive what we do within the program as well. And then we also have 2 alumni representatives, and we are at the point in this program, so we're in, as I mentioned, we're in year 5, and those spots for those alumni reps are kind of fought over at the end of the year because they want to be on the board, they enjoy getting to be part of that next step with it as well. You'll see here on the next 3 slides, and we'll kind of go through these quickly, but these are, I went really quickly. Help Julie. These are just the various investors. We have, I believe, around 55 investors right now from our community who participate in this program. These investors are the people that we go out and have visits with. The students get to tour their facilities. They learn from them. Some of them are mentors, so there's a lot of involvement from these people within the community. You can see there on that picture on the slide, our students are able to go and do some different experiences. This was at the beginning of the year, and it's a team build that they did as a class. They have a lot of fun, and that's when they don't really know each other, and they're kind of shoved into, you better get comfortable quick because a lot has to change, and be ready for that. Our students have mentors through this program as well. We go through, and we kind of hate to call it this, but it's like mentor speed dating, because they go and they sit around and they meet with the mentors for a very brief period of time and then move on to the next one in order to really kind of just meet with one another, do some small talk, try and figure out who they feel like they might match with. And then I go through and have to match everybody up, and they meet with those mentors every month, twice a month. Once is an individual meeting where they get together and they talk about some of the things that the student is working on. It could be their individual business, it could be some of the class projects, various different things. The students then also do a large group mentor meeting where we bring everyone together so that they can also continue to learn from the various mentors and hear different perspectives from the community. They journal weekly about what they're doing in the program, and that's also shared with their mentors in order to help them stay connected and continue to help our students grow. And I'm going to have Julie share just a little bit about her mentor.
So my mentor this year is Stephanie Postma, and she works at Hormel, and it's been a really big asset for me because she's shown me a lot of how to work with people that don't always agree with me. Working in the CEO program, there's 22 of us, and a lot of times it comes down to making one decision, and everyone wants to agree with the same thing. And she works really well with like teams and making sure that teams are functioning well, and so she's been able to share a lot of different valuable ways to problem solve and work with people who are like-minded and also different-minded. And I'm very excited tomorrow. I'll get to job shadow her, so I'm excited to see her in action and more of what she does.
So Julie mentioned they tomorrow get to go on a job shadow with their mentors, which we've done that over the last couple of years, and students have started to realize that they want to spend more than our CEO time with their mentors. Our students show up every morning. Class starts at 7:30 and goes till 9. And the parking lot, when I get there right around 7, there are already kids parked in there, and they're coming in by 7:15. We do a big push of early is on time. If you're on like 7:30 on time, you're late. And we don't have anybody come at 7:30. They're all there early. So with their job shadow tomorrow, a lot of them started coming to me and saying, "Can I stay longer? My mentor said they, have a meeting that I can attend with them." So they're just constantly continuing to seek out those different opportunities that they're provided with those mentors as well. Here. We don't use a lot of technology at CU. All right, so business visits, the students go on business visits, usually about 2 times per week. This is where they go and they tour the facilities. They get to go into places within this community that not everyone gets to go into every day. An example that we just a couple weeks ago toured the QPP plant, and it's very rare that people are inside there anymore. So they get these opportunities through their investors. It's a chance for them to hear from the owners and the people who help the businesses run and function. They learn about how they run their companies, what struggles they might encounter, and just really gathering that information and knowledge from those people within our community. The students are expected to ask questions and interact, and on visits at the beginning of the year, I'll kind of tally their questions so that the kids can know, hey, this is about where you were at with questions. And this group, I stopped doing it because I think I would be at like 55, and I was like, all right, you're just continuing to seek out that learning for themselves. You can see up here on the slides, those are a couple of the different visits. We're in our hard hats there at QPP and our hairnets. The Style Lounge, and then we also got to go onto the Hormel corporate jet recently, and we all really want to go back there. So I'm gonna let Julie share about her favorite visit so far.
So I have a couple different favorite visits so far. Some of the ones to highlight would be when we got to visit the CFO at Hormel, going to the Style Lounge, and also talking with Chris Heichel, who's also one of our board members, for CEO. My favorite part is that they are all women with lots of resilience, and that was something that I learned is very important, that if you want to be a successful leader and a successful business owner, you need to have resilience no matter what you face. And also just learning like the different ins and outs of different businesses. I mean, I don't plan on going into cosmetology or being a hairstylist, but learning how to run a business like that and the importance of networking and making connections with your clients or your customers is so important. And so learning that now I think is going to be a really big asset for me when we start working on our class business and also working on my personal business.
So if you can't tell, Julie, this is what our students are like in their presentations. It's always, I'm always impressed by them because they continue just to present at that next like higher level. And she hits it spot on. We talk about how if you come to the class that day and you're at a business visit and it doesn't seem to be something you're interested in, what do you learn from that person? What is the takeaway? And I see them doing that constantly. The other day we went to Clifton Larson Allen, and they were talking a lot about finances. And a couple of kids were super excited because that's what they want to go into. And some were probably like me, and numbers are scary. So I said, okay, well, but what did you take away? And they could talk about and highlight what they still did learn. So they go through some different projects at the beginning of the year where they do their badge business. So Julie's got her badge on here today. I'm getting better at this. My first year, it was really hard because the facilitator has to sit in the corner and do everything that a teacher would never do. I'm not allowed to help them. I'm supposed to just sit there and be quiet and say, here's the job. You don't have a budget. You need to come up with badges. Here's your due date. I'll be over there. And then I have to go sit down. And like I said, sometimes that's really challenging because, as Julie mentioned, a group of 22 brains thinking, I know what I'm doing and I'm gonna do this way, can be really a challenging experience for them, but that's very purposeful. So they go through and they learn lots of things about working together. By the end, they're all like, oh, it wasn't really about the badge, right? It wasn't really about the badge. So, Julie, big takeaways that you learned from it?
I guess a big takeaway that I would have is that everybody thinks differently and that we really realize our strengths and our weaknesses. We could definitely figure out who are our salesmen, because what we did for the badge project is we did like a level of advertisement. So we had a gold level and a silver level, and we first went to our investors. Since they've already invested in us, we wanted to give them the opportunity to get extra advertisement out there. And then we went to different businesses in the community, and with that we put their business on our badge, and that was a way for us to get money to also support the badge project, but support our future class business. And so we took a DISC assessment profile, and we, if you've never taken one before, it kind of just shows you like where you line up with your soft skills and your strengths and your weaknesses. And originally mine was S, which means you're like very analytical, you think things through, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, this is not me, I'm like, that's not who I am. And I was like, I'm definitely like a D, which is like someone who is very like take charge and is like very loud, because if you know me, I am a very loud person. But then working on the badge project, I realized how analytical I really am and how important the fine details are to me. And so you figure out just through this first project, who's really good at being a salesperson, who's really good at writing emails and contacting people. And that's something that's gonna be a huge asset to us in the future.
A lot of them fight back on their desk and they think it's not that, so, good job, Julie. Right now, our students are also taking part in a 10-week Toastmasters session, which Julie's already highlighted those skills here that she's working on and those different speaking skills. We see a ton of growth in our students, and over the years, our students come back and say this is one of the things that's helped them significantly because they are able to get up in front of people and speak. They also are able to, on the spot, think and speak and interact with people, which is a huge piece of what they have to do within the CEO program constantly. We are now working on our class business, so the second kind of part of the year is their class business. This is from last year, so they did a masquerade themed event where they had a murder mystery company that they brought in. Again, the students, this is all them. They are going through and they brainstorm their process. What do we want to do? What do we think is something that's going to be valuable to this community? And I would say over the last 5 years, our students really focus a lot on, we want this to be something that the people of Austin enjoy. It's not just about, we have to do this business and let's come up with something and make money. They want to provide something good and memorable to the Austin community. They go through, they have to do a board proposal. The students usually break into committees as they start to navigate and figure out how do we do this. So instead of 22 of us trying to figure out one thing together, they break down and do pieces of that. And they've been very successful over the years. I know this class has some great ideas and excited to see where they head with this. And I will say as well, over the last few years, especially when COVID hit us, we saw some big challenges, and our students last year were a little nervous as to, well, is it gonna happen? Can we be in person? Are there gonna be limits on numbers? What are the rules going to be? And they had an option of following the class before them that was during full COVID to do an outdoor movie. So that's what they had done 3 years ago. And last year's class said, no, we don't wanna do that because we don't wanna do the same thing. We wanna do it for ourselves. We want it to be ours. And they came up with this and were very successful. And I know the students this year, I've already heard them say, well, wait a minute, can you tell us what all the other classes were? Because we don't want to do the same thing. Which is, I think, a true testament to our students and that innovative part of them. Many of the CEO programs that I see, they do a lot of repeat events. So it's a testament to our kids what they're doing. So Julie, do you want to give just a quick idea of what you're doing?
So right now we have come up with 3 different ideas for our class business, and we are currently split up into 3 different committees, and then we're going to give a pitch next Tuesday to our class about what ideas, like which one we should pick and which one would be the most beneficial to making profit, but also making a very inclusive event that anybody in Austin can afford and join.
Right, then their individual businesses, this is the last part of the year. We already do have some students who have started. It kind of just depends on where they're at in that process. They go through and they do everything to create a business. They have a banker day where they go to different banks in this community and they have to present that business plan to them and be approved for the grant or loan dollars that they can access. They will be all highlighting it that at the trade show in May. So by May 17th, that's when they have to have their business ready to go. And the hope is that some of those students will continue that after. And we do see that a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that here once we get to the slide. These are some of our businesses just from over the years. You can see the students have to set that up and really go through a full trade show. They all come up with very unique ideas, and a lot of our students have found a lot of success in what they do. So some just continued pieces. I'll talk about the bottom 2 first. But scholarship opportunities. One of our students from a few years ago now, she received a full ride to an entrepreneurial program at St. Thomas University, which was really awesome. And I know the CEO experience helped her in that process. We actually, because she's there, we get to go on a day visit to their program. We'll be doing that this week. Job opportunities. We have many of our students who are hired by different businesses. The med spa that's opening up, I commented to one of the women that works there that the 2 front desk people that they have are CEO students, former CEO students, and they're like, yeah, that's not a mistake. Like you are creating, or they're creating opportunities, and then also these student skills really just help them to stand out. And then also for the future, a lot of our students have connections back to this community that allow them to come back and have kind of a jump start on some of those different opportunities for future jobs. We also connected with the Rotary program, and Julie and then another one of our students, Avery, just recently went to a 3-day intensive experience through that program, and we're excited because Julie walked away with a $1,000 scholarship from that, so she was awarded that based off of an essay that she had to write there on that weekend. So, I feel like we're talking forever, so I'm sorry. And this is just ways that you can find out more about us. If you are interested in coming in, we would love to have you come in. It's a unique experience and it's great to see. Sometimes it's hard to understand what exactly we're doing, but we welcome you to come in. You can also sign up. We have a weekly newsletter that comes out through our website and it just gets emailed to you. If you go to the website, you can sign up for it. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on, I don't know, everything that, oh yes, they made me make a TikTok this year and it was scary. We posted once, that's it. So I try and keep up with their social media because that's a great way that we advertise to our students. But those are places that you can follow and see what we do every day. So that is what we have for you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, Julie, you are really a powerful spokesperson for the CEO program, and whether Ms. Hovland asked you to do it, or you said, I'm doing it, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And nice job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Emily, before you leave, how many other districts have programs like this?
So there are, in Minnesota, I think we have 5 CEO programs. There aren't any near us. Actually, the contact that I have at Midland Institute, which is a company that we work with, just contacted me this week. They're continuing to try and recruit in Minnesota. It started in Illinois, and so if you go into Illinois, I mean, they're all over. There are people, they're continuing to expand throughout the states, and we're just continuing to see it grow. When I started this 5 years ago with our district, I think there were 3 in Minnesota. So they're continuing to try and grow the program, but it's probably the best thing I have seen kids do, and I've been teaching. When Catherine said she was old, I laughed, because Catherine, you don't know old.
Excellent work, thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you. Okay, now I would like to invite Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Andrew Adams, for a considerable part of the agenda. Welcome. Okay, first of all, we have certified November 2022 school district general election results. Andrew will be presenting. This is an action item.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board, I have the privilege and honor of presenting the resolution for canvassing the general election, which contains the results of the school board election, whereby Peggy Young, Kathy Green, Kevin McAllister, and Carolyn Dubé received the highest number of votes in the election. So with that, I'll turn it over for the resolution.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the general election results?
So moved.
Katie moved, is there a second?
A second.
Cece second, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have certified November 8th, 2020 school district special election results.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board. Again, privilege and honor to present this resolution for the canvass of the returns of the special election, whereby the citizens of Austin and our county voted yes to the referendum at 54% to 46%, or 45-12 votes to 38-31 no votes.
Do we have a motion to accept the results of the November 8th, 2022 special election?
So moved.
Peggy made the motion, second. Angie? Okay, any discussion? I would just like to thank Andrew for all the financial support that went into that, for the number crunching, and when people go what'll happen at this? So we thank you for that. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Okay, next, request approval of resolution authorizing insurance of certificates of election and directing school district clerk to perform other election-related duties. Okay, Executive Director of Finance and Operation, Andrew Adams, to report. This is an action item.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board, this last issuance of the certificates of the election, this is a housekeeping resolution, so once approved, the deputy clerk will be in touch with the newly elected officials to complete this process. So this time we need your authorization of this resolution.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Peggy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Don, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, the elections, thank you very much. Now, request approval of donations. This is an action item. Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Andrew Adams, will present.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, and members of the board, I have a lengthy list of donations for you this evening, so please bear with me as I have the privilege of reading these out to you. So tonight we have from the Music Boosters of Austin, we have $1,000 to the Ellis Orchestra program for their string purchases. The next lines of donations are related to the girls swim and dive team for the diving boards. So we have the Austin Police Association for $750, Emily Navarrete, $200, Fraternal Order of Eagles, $1,500, James and Michelle Lane, $125, Orrin and Melinda Huntley, $50, Louise Clipful, $33, and Greg and Connie Pettit for $30. And again, that was all to the girls swim and dive team for the diving boards. Next up, we have Michelle Arges for $25 to the lunch tray program, Margaret Skelton for $100, and then two $250 anonymous donations, again, all to the lunch tray program. So we're very grateful for those donations to support our students directly. Next up, we have Nick Schultz for $500 to Sumner Elementary for field trip expenses. Austin Police Association for $750 to the gymnastics program to cover expenses, as well as another donation from the Fraternal Order of Eagles here in Austin for $1,500 to the Gymnastics Association group. Next up, we have Don and Marsha Leathers in memory of Evelyn Gensel for $25 to Nevelin Elementary for classroom supplies. We have Evelyn Gensel Memorial from Richard Gensel for $85 to Nevelin Elementary for classroom supplies. Next up, we have Greg and Amy Baskin for $100 to the boys basketball program to cover expenses. And last but not least, again, from our Fraternal Order of Eagles here in Austin, another $1,500 to I.J. Holton for the care closet. So it is with my pleasure that I recommend these for approval to the school board tonight.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the donations? So moved. Katie motioned, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Cece. Any discussion? Once again, it shows the incredible generosity of our community stepping forward, so thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Next, request approval of 3-year tax abatement program renewal. This is an action item. Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Andrew Adams, to present.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board, we discussed this particular issue at the previous work session in greater detail. So tonight before you for an action item, we are recommending that the school board of Austin Public Schools approve the resolution whereby we extend the abatement program through December 31st of 2025, which would be a 3-year extension.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'd make that motion.
Don makes the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Angie, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, request approval of HVAC control upgrade. Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Andrew Adams, to report. This is an action item.
Chair Green, Superintendent Page, members of the board, I'm sure you're all sick of me me by this point. I have
You're just warming up.
I'm just warming up. Welcome to my show. Tonight before you, we have a recommendation for the use of some of our ESSER funds, the Round 2 funds to be specific, also known as the FIN 155 funds if you're a finance junkie like myself. Recommending that we use those funds to invest in HVAC controls. In working with our partners at PAPI, they made us aware that we are at the end life on the motherboard and the control units, our HVAC controls, so this would set us up for another 10 to 15 years worth of life and get us with a cloud-based solution instead of a local solution like we are currently operating. Any questions?
So do we have a motion to approve the HVAC upgrade?
So moved.
Moved by Katie,
Second.
second by Peggy. Any discussion?
I just have one quick question. Is this district-wide then? This
Correct.
control?
And all of our instructional facilities.
Don, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about the ESSER money, is that, almost at its end, for lack of a better?
The ESSER money in varying degrees expires between now and September of 2024. This particular pot of funding expires this coming fall.
Okay, thanks.
Further questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That's a wrap.
That's right.
Now we have before us a list of policies. Request approval of revised policies. This is an action item. Can we do them as a group, or do we need to do them separately?
By number?
By number? Okay, we're gonna be doing these by number. So first of all, we have 19A, policy 205, open meetings, closed meetings policy. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Peggy, seconded.
Second.
Second by Stacy, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Policy 206, public participation in school board meetings, complaints about persons at school board meetings, and data privacy considerations. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Cece, seconded by Katie, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Policy 208, development, adoption, and implementation of policies, policy about policies. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Don, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Peggy, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy, let's see, item 19D, policy 209, code of ethics. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Peggy, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Angie, discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Policy 210, conflict of interest, school board members. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Cece, second.
Second.
Second by Peggy, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 19F, policy 213, school board committees. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Don, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Angie, discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 19G, policy 305, policy implementation, another policy about policies. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Peggy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Katie, is there discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 19H, policy 406, public and private personnel data. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Cece, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Peggy, discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 19I, policy 724, tax abatement policy. Do I have a motion to approve? Peggy moved, is there a second? Second by Angie, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And just to note that this was the second reading for each of these policies, so we've gone in depth in discussion at an earlier meeting.
That was like silk off a spool there, Ken. Andrew's a tough act to follow, isn't he?
He is, actually. Yes, okay, item 20, a reminder of the study session scheduled for Monday, November 28th. That will be following Thanksgiving at 4 PM in the district office conference room. Don?
I know sometimes I get out of place here. Can I just say one thing here?
You sure can.
Okay. I just like, I don't recall the young girl's name, but it was a tragic event. A girl over Idahoan who passed. But Kathy sent us a GoFundMe, and I tell you, within a day, they exceeded the 15,000, and we did, and amassed more than that. So, I mean, just, we talked about generosity with the donations, but that was really just an outpouring of generosity that's unbelievable. So I hope it helped the family out, at least financially. I know you can't replace a child, but that was really a heartfelt moment.
That was. Yes. Okay, so now at this point, I need a motion to enter into closed session for the purpose of conducting evaluation for Superintendent Dr. Joey Page. The results of the evaluation will be made public at a future public board meeting. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.